Good morning, traders. So, still using the Bill-Williams theory, how do we trade the Dow Jones today? So, there's a couple of things at play here. And first thing is on the oscillators. Have a look at the diversions that's brewing. Okay, price has created a low and then a lower low, whereas the oscillator hasn't conformed and created a higher low. Okay, and the same on the awesome oscillator here. Now, on the awesome oscillator, we're basically coming back to this low here. You can see lower, low, higher low, higher low. Okay, so this is typical again of a bottom, not necessarily a turning point, but definitely a bottom. Could be another turn back to the top of this range, or alternatively, it could just consolidate back up to a decent retracement and then pull back down. But there are a few other things that we can see, and I think the first one that we want to do is that, followed by sorry, let's just want to change the color of this line. Just make them red. Okay. And you'll probably find if we just extend back, I can extend back there. So there's a couple of ways of looking at it. We've got that level there. You can see, not quite that one. That's sort of that level there. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3. This was the downtrend line, and now we've ended up with the green bar off a level. Okay, now I've left those levels in from yesterday. So there was my inside bar. And what we have now is, I think I'll just leave those in for now. And let's move this last one up to there. Okay, right. So let's go and have a look at the lower time frames. The first thing you notice is that we missed this bottom level. Just fell short of it. Okay, so the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, we've basically had 1, 2, 3 signals. So that was an engulfing, that inside bar, and this is another inside bar. Okay, two ways of looking at the inside bar. You can take a tails off. It's an inside bar, or alternatively do it with tails as an inside bar. Okay, but I like to take the tails off and then look at the body in relation to the previous body. So that's definitely an inside bar. So on an 8 hour time frame, that would more than likely be a pin bar. So anyway, that's kind of the view that we have at the moment, but then there is something else that's looking fairly interesting, and that is our current trend line, and there is our channel. Okay, so we're in a bearish channel at the moment. We are rallying a little bit. If you look at the oscillator, heading back up to the area where the sellers step in. So you may expect more of the same. So in other words, let it rally a bit up into this area and then fall off. Now, what I want to do before we start moving those levels around is just highlight again the importance of the levels. Okay, so you can see we started off the day off a level. We came up to this level here, tried to reject it, failed, moved up. Okay, basically moved up into the alligator, and then you would expect a sell-off happening there, and then the sell-off happened. So nice pin bar off a level here. And look what happened with the oscillator. It was also grouped to the downside. So we had a pin bar, we had a level, and we had the oscillator down here. So that was an entry long. And you had a nice 300, I think, just over 300 point. If you'd got in sort of even on the break or back on the level here on the pullback, that was a 500 point potential move. Okay, so looking at the hour, we have broken through the alligator. We're now coming back to test the alligator, and we have a little bit of a turn on the alligator at the moment. Only thing that concerns me is we are grouped to the upside. So that to me is looking a little tired. I'd expect another pullback. But what we're looking for now, and specifically on the hour, is I'm looking for a higher low. Okay, now let's just go back to the 4-hour. And we can move these levels around. So there's our first inside tail. Okay, look at that. It's going to coincide with the alligator and with the channel. So that's kind of the area that I would be looking for shorts again. Okay, so we're looking at 24690 area for another short. And if we just come to the half hour, and what we're also looking for is a second move. So the second move is going to be this. So I'm expecting a second move to the upside. Okay, now that's fairly interesting in that it breaks this target area here. This target area also lines up with the 30-minute 200 EMA. See that? So I would definitely expect some sellers stepping in here. But by the looks of things, this measured move, what we may get is just a 1 or 2 bar pullback and then another move to break the range. Or channel, sorry, not a range. Okay, and you can see how that lines up with this inside tail. Let's just have a look on the hour. So there is an inside tail. There is also a bit of a swing high. So I'd actually just fine tune it up to that level there. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. I expect that we're going to definitely get a second move up, and that second move up is back into this area here. And that's an area where I'd take profit and then look for some sort of a pullback. So if we do break through this channel, then I'd expect us to hit that target, come back, and then sort of find some support on 24,690 area. Okay, that's definitely what we're looking at. And if we just head down to a 12-minute, so what you can see here on the 12-minute, as you can see, we had a low, not quite off a level. The drop below level came back up, and then we formed a double bottom, and then you had your trend to the upside. So, and then the 200 moving averages played a role in this again. But at the moment, we've sort of broken through the alligator at the downside. So essentially what you're going to be looking at now is these two fractal levels on the lower time frames. Okay, so fractal break of 24474 is going to give you more upside, and fractal break of 24364 is going to give you more downside. Okay, so that's kind of the way I'm looking at it at the moment. And what I just want to do is just close off with the ichimoku quickly. It's going to give us a little bit more information. So the 30-minute, we're flat, but you can see here how we broke through. Let's just start with the 12-minute, because if you pay attention to the 12 minutes, you'll see how far away we had a flat Kijinsen, double bottom, definitely an opportunity for long. There it is. You would expect us to get through the cloud. We broke through the cloud. Now you would expect us to come and test the cloud. Okay. Same on the 30-minute. We're in the cloud at the moment. So inside the cloud means ranging until we break back below or break up. Then we should get direction. And on the 1 hour, you can see we have had a crossover here. This oscillator just worries me. So I would expect either a little bit more of a pullback or just sideways consolidation until this oscillator falls back into the buy zone. Okay, trend is still down though. We have had a crossover. We have broken through price with Chiku span, and you can see how the cloud is starting to point to the upside. If we look at the 4 hour, there is no change. This is a downward channel, downward trend. Kijinsen and Dickinson both pointing to the downside. So I would expect a little bit of a pullback, and then so that would be the ultimate, which would then come to Kijinson. So that's why I say that's another area I'd be looking for shorts. Okay. However, on the daily, you can see we are flat. So in other words, there's no trend on the daily at the moment. And we are grouped in a buy area here with a pin bar. So if you're just trading the daily, you'd be looking for a break above the high of yesterday, and you look for a daily close above 25,520. 24,520, sorry. The 24,520 daily close above that, that would give you confidence that you have a move to the upside, and that move may only, listen to me, may only, but it'd be fairly significant, be another 500 odd point rally. Okay, so that's kind of my view for today. It's looking for the second move, looking for a long, but I think the easiest thing for me right now is to pay attention to what's going on the hour. I want to see maybe a little bit of a deeper pullback. And the other thing to bear in mind is on our 4 hour, okay, that is our breakout point here, which we want to retest of. So we need 24,688 to be tested. And one way of looking at it, or another way of looking at it, in other words, instead of looking at the lower fractional levels, is to do a measured move like that, and then look for a pullback back to this breakout point here. In other words, we look for a deep pullback down here, and then we rally. Okay, but I think for me right now is all I'm looking for if I'm going to buy is a grouping down the bottom here, and preferably during US market hours. And if I'm looking to sell, I'm looking for a grouping up here with price action in relation to the alligator. So you can see this pin bar here. What time was that? That was at 3 o'clock South African time. So also it's 3 o'clock German time. So if you're trading the Dax, you could see that we had this pin bar off here. So it would have been well worth an entry with a stop above the pin bar. There was a 110 point risk for a good 500 point moves to the downside. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for at the moment. So the only thing that's giving me confidence that we may be turning is the fact that we are above the alligator at the moment on the hour. So I think I'll just wait for the European Open to see what this looks like. And if we do get any pin bar like this, top or bottom, it's well worth trading. So the pin bar in relation to where the oscillator is, and also whether it is a wise man number one, because this here is a wise man number one. Okay, it's far away from the alligator, so it's deviation from the alligator from where we crossed. In other words, I draw a line from the point where we crossed along the top, and from the point where we crossed, whoops, wrong line, from the point where we crossed to where the alligator is, which is over there. So you can see the deviation here. Okay, so that's kind of my view for today. I do suspect there's more buyers to come in. But what I want to see is I want to see this oscillator, specifically the Williams percentage R, just come off closer down to the 80, the negative 80 here, and that would give me an entry long. But what may happen is it may just consolidate on top of the alligator, which is also fine. Okay, and so last thing is just also have a look at your Bollinger Bands. So you can see on the 4 hour how Bollinger Bands starting to round and coming down. Okay, so this is pretty typical of the Bollinger Bands. You can see how we opened up here. This one's running down, that one was running up while the trend was intact. This bounce was off the 20 moving average, but now you can see how the Bollinger Bands are coming closer together for a squeeze. And what happens when you come to a squeeze? This is the kind of thing that happens. See, they come closer to each other and then they open up in the opposite direction. So there's nothing really on the higher time frames except that the weekly is opening up. So this could be the start of a move to the downside, or it could be a fake out and a start of a move to the upside. But anyway, that's the weekly. And to me, the weekly is a bit confused. Lower time frames, you can see on the 12, same scenario here. Outside Bollinger, inside Bollinger, long up, and now we're in a squeeze with the oscillators grouping to the downside. So, my bias is still for another move to the upside. That's three different strategies that are giving me a similar scenario. Just need to wait for the European Open to get the trade. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's me for today. Hope it helps, and I will catch you later. Cheers for now.